Welcome to Tallguyrides, and this is my review of the LS2 Storm 2. So this is my helmet. I've owned it for about a year or so now, and I'm extremely pleased with it. That's why I wanted to make this review to help any of you if you're thinking about purchasing this helmet or a nice new helmet within the 10 to 12, 9 to 12,000 rupee mark. I think the LS2 Storm 2 is something that you should very sincerely consider for your purchase. Let's talk about the material. So the material is kinetic uh, poly something. Nothing very great in that. Weight, I've seen that the weight here is about 1530, but it feels more like 1600 when I wear it. And then, of course, I do have my GoPro mount and the Bluetooth intercom on, so it gets a little bit heavier because of that. It comes in six sizes, all the way from XS to 3XL. And the best part is that this helmet is ECE 22.06 certified. So it matches the new certification standards that have come out. To better understand what the difference is between ECE 22.06 and 22.05, you can watch my video somewhere here about this topic and get a little bit more in-depth information about the changes and why the 22.06 is a more comprehensive testing standard for helmets and rider safety. Now, let's get into the subjective elements of this review. Talking about sizing, as I'd earlier said, you get multiple sizes all the way from XS to 3XL. I personally wear an L sized helmet, and this is my common size across my Climb, my Arai, and other helmets that I've owned in the past. I have a 59 to 60 centimeter circumference head when you measure it across your crown, and this helmet fits me very well. So it has a standard helmet sizing. So if you're thinking of buying it online, I think you can rest assured that the sizing will fit as it fits with other helmet brands, or at least the measurement that you take over the circumference of the crown of your head. One thing that I felt is a little bit off is that it is a little bit tighter around the ears, especially for the first few months. I used to start getting some pain because my ears would get pinched. The cushion is a little bit thick around the ears, or maybe that's just how the helmet is built. So if you have largish ears, maybe you should size up, or maybe you're wearing a bandana or something like that to kind of protect your ears from getting squished in the wrong direction. So sizing, as I said, is spot on. Now let's talk about the next factor, and that is comfort, which is a very important factor, I feel. And for this price point, I think uh, you will get helmets which are ECE 22.06 at much lower price points from Indian brands. But where this helmet kind of tops it off is the comfort factor. The cushioning, the ventilation is pretty good on this helmet. I would say it's about a very high 3.5, almost nearing a 4 out of 5 when it comes to comfort. The cushioning quality is very good. The ventilation is pretty good. Only place where I feel that it could have been a little bit better is that the top vent, it only works when you're in a very aggressive tuck where you have your head lowered and then you're kind of in aggressive sports riding kind of a tuck. I ride adventure motorcycles most of the time, so my head is pretty upright, and I feel that the ventilation coming from the top vent isn't the best in that situation. Now, to talk about the intricate detailed or features of this helmet, which might help you make a better purchase decision. um, the visor removal system is really very easy. All you have to do is lift up the visor all the way up. Then there's a mechanism where you have to push down the visor and pop out the lock, which is here. It's already done for this side. Same thing let's do for the other side. All you have to do is push down on this and the lock comes out, and once the lock is out, all you do is rotate it back and the visor is off. Simple enough. To put it back, simply align the shapes on the ratchet system and the visor here like this, and once it's aligned, the lock pin is aligned, simply push it inside and you're done. Super simple. The second feature that I really like about the helmet is the very nice and large sun shield. As you can see, it covers your face all the way from the nose guard all the way across. So there are some helmet brands which will give you a sun shield, but they just about cover your eyes. They don't go all the way down. So if you're riding in a very bright sunlight kind of a situation, then you still get glints of sunshine from the tarmac or from buildings and stuff like that in a visor which is not big enough. But here the visor is nice and wide. It covers most of your face and also protects you from the UV thing if your visor is in its open position. The main visor is in open position. Another feature which is pretty good for this kind of helmet is that it has cutouts for your speakers for your Bluetooth communication device, and it's very easy to install in that sense. And once you install your speakers, it doesn't really press up against your cheek or your ears in that sense. So again, good job in terms of the overall design. When it comes to the front ventilation, it is pretty good, but I usually just have my GoPro mount in the front, so that's something that I will not talk about. And finally, you do get a micrometric buckle system, which is always the easiest to use when you have your gloves on. Of course, double D rings are safer, but I think this for regular street usage and daily commute, so on and so forth, this is a fairly good system. And as you can see, you also get a chin vent to reduce the turbulence noise inside the helmet, and it is in fact made of very nice plush material. So I get irritated if this material isn't good, but it's nice and plush and cushy, so I don't feel scratchy or irritated around the chin area. One thing that this helmet misses out on is emergency pull tabs for your cheek pads in case you go down in a crash and somebody else has to remove your helmet by removing the cheek pad. So that's one miss. And apart from that, I think this helmet looks pretty good in terms of the design. It has a nice sporty appeal. I personally liked it, that's why I bought it. And you do get quite a few color options. Let's just scroll down. So you have your solids, which are solid gloss white. Then you have your matte gray, you have your matte black, you have your gloss black, you have your gray solid gloss. Excuse me. The one that I owns is this one. This is the jeans colorway. In this image, it looks a little bit lighter than it is in person. And then you also have a few interesting color options. Another one that I really like is this BMW colorway. So if you have a BMW bike with that rally red, white, and blue colorway, I think this is a really nice match. And this is a pretty interesting colorway too. I mean, I personally may not buy it, but somebody who likes a lot of color can buy that one. And yeah, that sums up talking about the specific elements of the helmet. 10-11,000 rupee helmet, you're hoping to get a good 3-4-5 years of use case from that helmet. And when you take that into consideration, you must also consider the cost of visors, because they do get scratched within one year, 18 months, and they need to be replaced. You also need to think of the cost of the pin lock that comes with the helmet. You get one pin lock with the helmet, but those also need to be replaced after a certain amount of time because it gets scratched pretty easily. And the cost of the liners. Now, a plain transparent visor costs, I think, 1600 rupees. The pin lock costs 2,500 rupees, so it is kind of a pinch over there. It is a pin lock 70, and it costs about 2,500 rupees. And the entire liner set, so cushion and the crown liner, everything included, costs 3,000 rupees. So if you just look at a new visor and a new set of cushions every, say, 18 months, you will probably spend almost as much as almost a new helmet within a use case range of about 4.5, 5 years. So that's something that you have to take into account when you're picking up a helmet. The cost of the accessories is on the higher side. Now I want to talk about some things that I was not happy with in terms of this helmet's experience. The number one thing is the cost of the spares. Little bit on the higher side for not, I wouldn't say it's a budget helmet, but um, 3.5, 4,500 rupees for a spare visor and liner set is a little bit on the higher side, whereas other brands in the same price point are offering the liner set for about 1,500 rupees and a visor for 6 to 800 rupees. So, in that sense, almost half. Second thing is, I did feel that there was a pinch on the top part of my ears. So the helmet has a slightly narrower profile. So if you have a much rounder, wider head, perhaps you have to take a better look at uh, wearing the helmet for quite some time and keeping it on, because that pinching pain, you don't experience it within 10-15 minutes of wearing the helmet. It starts maybe after half an hour, 45 minutes. So I would suggest you take a slightly closer look and try out a friend's helmet, or maybe spend a lot of time sitting in the shop wearing the helmet before you commit to that if you have a wider face. And finally is the ventilation. Not the best that I have experienced in this price point. I've had a couple of helmets, especially the SMK Titan, which was heavier, but it ventilated really, really well. So that's one thing that I would mark down as a negative aspect for this helmet. The weight, I think it is fair enough for this price point. It's about 1550 grams, plus minus 50 grams. It does feel like about 1600 grams. So that's there. But apart from that, the comfort of the cushion on the inside, the balance of the helmet is pretty good for the price point. And I think I would definitely recommend this to somebody if the budget that they're looking for is about 9 to 12,000 rupees. I would definitely recommend this helmet. It costs, I think, 10,750 rupees. So yeah, I would recommend this helmet if that is your budget range that you're looking for. If you have any questions about the LS2 Storm 2, where to buy it, all of those things, just drop me a DM on Instagram, or you can also use the comment section. And hopefully, I can do this as a one take, or well, just chop kind of a video on YouTube. And I really like it. I like this colorway with the mirror finish visor. It looks really like some Tron kind of a helmet or something. I really like this colorway. So yeah, with that said, thanks for watching. Ride safe, stay safe.